So, I just wanted to do just a brief update, nothing too in depth in this video. Same as my last one. I'm just trying to share the information as I'm gathering it. Um, the problem is it's complex, and I've probably said this before. It's complex, and it's not complex. It's very simple. The reasons why uh, we're doing what we're doing in the Middle East, but the history of it is very complex. And let me see if I can flip my camera around because I'm going to show you some of what I've been working on. So I think I messed up and started writing a book because, okay, so here's the plan. Basically, I'm doing all this research and I would like to condense it down in, in a way that is digestible for most people. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to do this. I want to do videos about it because some people, that's just how they learn best, or the media that they use to learn about stuff. And also, I think writing a book would be a good way to do it because a lot of people prefer reading uh, to watching videos or whatever. So, whatever gets the message across is that's how I want to do this. So let me flip my camera around. I'm going to show you. This is just, I mean, I've just scratched the surface on this stuff. All right. So this is my handy dandy notebook. Jimmy got me printed me off a map so I can visualize a lot of this stuff. But basically, I think the easiest way to talk about this stuff is the timeline, because like here you can, when you see it all laid out like this. Now some of this stuff is unrelated because you got to weed out information as we go through, but when you see the timeline, you can see like how their plans are advancing, tactics that they're using, countries that they're overthrowing. And a lot of this is just scatterbrain stuff. That's an article on the Iranian general that we bombed in Afghanistan. Some more about him. I started breaking it down by, we've got countries that are a part of this. We've got industries and companies, politicians. There's, that way we can see who's on the board. Who are the players in this, horrible thing that we're doing for profit. So I started looking into Israel because honestly, I didn't know as much as I should. I mean, I knew like a little bit, probably about as much as average American. But started looking into AIPAC. Here we go. Iran Israel relations. I know it's Iran, but I'm a redneck. I'll say it. I'm just used to saying it that way. So here's just some of the Middle Eastern conflicts, or not Middle Eastern, but these are American conflicts, wars, operations, all that America's been involved in. And there's a couple that's not on here, but all these that are in orange, these are the ones that are, I believe, part of the war on terror. Here's the one on, here's all this is about George H.W. Bush. His links to the CIA. Now this one was really interesting. It's a crash course video, and I found the transcript for it online. But this breaks down the history of Israel and Palestine, which I mean, a lot of this information just blew my mind because it's just like, they were talking about the Ottoman Empire And basically, it was not like it was this, utopia, but it was, not what it is today. And as he's going through it and describing how, I don't know, I told this to Jimmy, I said, basically, I don't know if you've ever seen the gif of Big Bird walking through the boxes and he's like trying not to knock him over and he keeps knocking him over. That's
Sorry, no, sorry.
that's basically what the British did in the Middle East. They're like, oh, we're helping, we're helping, we're helping. Oh, no, no, we're making things a lot worse. And then once they made it as bad as they possibly could, they said, hey, UN, here's your first problem to deal with. Figure out how to bring peace to the Middle East after we've just screwed everything up royally. But then it goes on to say that Israel keeps building these settlements in Palestine. And so, you know, they're saying, well, now there's a wall built around the settlement, so it's just taking more and more land. What else was there? Yeah, and then basically America looked at all the chaos that was over there, saw that they had oil, and said, you know what, I think we could take advantage of all this chaos. Let's take advantage. How can we profit from this? Let's continue the war. Let's stir up some, ill will. Let's get a couple wars started. You know, maybe throw in a couple coups for good measure. So I'm still learning about, Hamas and, just the specifics, but these are just general things, just, generalization. I didn't know this is more in depth, but yeah, that's the end of that. And I don't like how they ended the video in Crash Course, and I get it, it's probably a history video for high school kids, but in the end, it was just basically he goes, well, both sides need to be heard, and, they did bad stuff to them, they did bad stuff to the other side, so, who knows who's wrong. Oh, here's another one. Seven Sisters, the oil companies. And I think Jimmy's the one that told me about this, or maybe somebody did in my last live stream. But these are the people, because when you're looking at this stuff, you need to look at who is the one that's winning from this. Because it's not the citizens that live in Iran, it's not the citizens that live in Afghanistan, it's not even the citizens that live in America that profit from this. There are a few at the very top that profit, like the Seven Sisters. Now, and as I'm researching this, it says, oh, these were consolidated. All you see is consolidation, consolidation. Because just having seven, I mean, that's too many. It's just like our media and everything else. It must be consolidated into one giant, ugly monster of an industry. But all this, everything kicked off like really in the like early 40s, late 40s, early 50s, which, that's when the CIA was created. But I'm trying to figure out how to break this down in a way that's, because look at all this. Now I'm starting to research into OPEC. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to lay this out, and I think I'm going to have to do this in several different parts. Which the first part is going to have to be, that's where my timeline comes in. I'm going to have to do a timeline of like just a brief, the historical events. And then I'm going to have to do a second part where I go into how they did it, the people that did it, why they did it. And then finally, who's going to be the people that are profiting from this. But yeah, that's what I got so far. Anything else? Oop. Dropping everything. I don't think I got anything back here. Oh, that's more the financial stuff. Looking into the top 10 richest oil barons, largest oil and gas companies, just the steps of colonization, because I mean we use this in every country. We use this in the Middle East. We use this on indigenous people. We use this in every country we bring freedom and democracy to. It's the same. It's the same rules. You know, just financial information. But that's going to be the last and final part. But first, I got to get to the history of it, the events that led up to what we're doing now. And I don't even know how to condense that down, to be honest. Let me reverse this. I don't know how to condense that down because I could probably do it up until Ronald Reagan. And then after Ronald Reagan,
You're
is
looking at me. Okay, sorry.
and then after Ronald Reagan is like when it really exploded. Reagan, Clinton, George W. Bush. I mean, once he got in office, I mean, that's like an encyclopedia of bullshit that we could talk about. But, we'll cross that road when we get to it. But for right now, I'm just going to focus on the first part, which is the history and the events that are leading up to it. Let's see what the live stream had to say. Did you see the Israel press conference today? What do you think about the Palestinian-Israel two-state solution? I mean, from what I've seen so far is, that's all Palestine wanted was just to be considered a state. But since they're not considered a state, Israel gets to do whatever they want without any kind of, consequences.
Because of us.
And we enable them. We enable them. Because, I mean, we're selling weapons on all the sides, right? Here we go here. Old Gringo, Jonathan, Gardenome. Yeah, are you writing a book or making a video? Both. I'm doing both because some people prefer to read and they don't really get into the whole YouTube stuff. YouTube's better for people that are like, basically like me, that are just trying to work and, live their life, and hey, let's just watch this 5-minute clip or a 10-minute clip, which will lead to another clip, hopefully, that they can learn from. Because, we're all just learning about this stuff. We're all just trying to do the best we can with what the information we know. So I'm going to do both video and a book. But the book's going to be a long time coming. It's going to be a whole process. But as I'm learning stuff, I'm going to be sharing it with you. So far, I haven't gotten anything too concrete to where I can do a specific video, but I'm just letting you know where I'm at as far as research and stuff goes, so that way I don't drop off the face of the earth. Let's see. I'll do it on Zoom so you can all see the info she's showing. Yeah, I'm just flipping through it real quick. Israel is going to annex the West Bank. What does that mean for the people that live there? What does that mean? What does that mean? I mean, I know. I mean, that can't be good. Can't be good. Not for the people that live there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much hell as it is now.
Yeah.
No, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I'm sitting here talking about all this stuff and I totally missed it. Did you see that?
What?
Jonathan Melton said Trump and Netanyahu talked about a two-state solution today.
Oh, they're talking about peace talks.
But these are all borders that we created. These are all borders that
They're not.
the British created. This isn't a thing of their own design. Like this is something we imposed on them, and we're like, hey, figure out how to make it work.
What they want to do is I think they want to give. It's like, here's America, but we'll give Palestine West Virginia or Arizona. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, after they destroyed most of the people there. I mean, taking everything they can. I mean, like what?
You can have all the states, but except for
We'll let you put
we'll
a
let you
trailer in the back.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Ugh.
That's the only thing.
Yeah, they're gonna jail Old Gringo said, "Oh, they're going to jail and kill as many people as
Yeah.
possible."
They're gonna just give them nothing. There's no peace settlement. It's just they have to take the deal. I love that icon with the oil in the tank. Where did you get that?
I looked it up online.
That's freaking awesome.
Oh, I know, Gordon. Like that's the thing. Right now, I want to just focus on the historical events and get through that, and do a series of videos and get through the historical events, and then start on the next topic, which is going to be who did it and why. So I think that's the best way because I mean, I, Jimmy saw me one night. I'm sitting here doing research, and I just got outside. I was like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" I had like the 1,000 yard stare. I was just like, "What the fuck is this?" It's all bullshit. It's a history of bullshit.
Yeah, it's so
I mean,
bad.
it's just like it broke my brain. I've seen a lot of messed up stuff. I've heard a lot of messed up
You'd
stuff.
love to have Abby Martin with you.
This just, I mean, it broke my brain. It did.
Abby Martin's all over that.
Mm-hmm. So the historical events really that I'm focusing on now is, um, let me bust out my timeline here.
But I think your bombshell is your bomb. Can I say something?
What?
Sorry. Connecting who the elitist 1% individuals are that are pulling the strings. We're gonna try to find that out. Is that what you're gonna try to find out?
So it seems like there's a lot of different types of events, like the creation of the CIA. Uh, let's see, certain people getting elected, getting into office, and then like with as far as George H.W. Bush goes, you can see, and his family, the way that he tied the Republican Party to oil, and how then that was a match made in hell, and how because he was CIA, he had links to the oil industry, and how they became allies, and how they worked together to do things like the Iran Contra and all these things to destroy countries, destroy lives, kill people just for money, profit, power. You know, let's see, invasions and coups.
1953. There's one also.
Mm-hmm.
1979. You got that.
And I know I'm not really saying anything too specific right now. I mean, I'm throwing a few things out there, but I mean, it's just so massive. It's just so massive, and it goes on. I mean, it'd be different if it was just like, wow, this is 10 years of this, but no, this goes all the way back to 1947 and earlier. It goes back. I mean, we're looking at like 100 years of, colonization, war. Oh, did Saint Progressive delete all her stuff?
Right?
Did Saint Progressive delete all her
I
stuff?
think she pulled all her stuff.
Oh man, that's awful. She's super smart. But I get it. I get it. She's been in this for a long time. She is more knowledgeable. She can drop these facts just in her sleep probably. But the thing is she got to a certain point and she's like, and what do you do? And what do you do? And then not only that, but all the stuff that Facebook and stuff was doing her. Mm, that was creepy. The stuff that, do you remember that stuff that Facebook was doing? Like, anytime you tried to share her videos, they would, you get a poll or questions about her video.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was really eerie.
they were all over her.
I don't blame her for going underground. Like she did her part. She busted her ass.
You should come
Yeah.
back.
I'd love to see her come back. I would, but she's got to stay safe.
Same progressive oxymoron.
Yeah, exactly, John. That's what I was thinking. I was like, and when my brain broke that one night, I was just like, I mean, that I know I'm just scratching the surface. Like, there are novels out there about all of the horrible things that we've done, and in a million different ways. And this is the surface. Mm. Hey, Garden said that find it easier if I continue to narrow my focus, try to formulate a specific thesis, and then pick the events that will illustrate that. Yeah, because right now I'm like a sponge. Okay, I'm soaking up a lot of
Yeah.
information, and when I release it back out, I need to make sure that some of this stuff is important, some of it's not. Like if you on my timeline, I've got certain things on there that I already know that I need to scratch out.
Unlike me, I'm all over the fucking place. Unlike me, I'm all over the fucking place.
Oh, Snork said he missed the beginning. Yeah, I was just going over and showing the research that I've done. And I mean, the research is all over the place. But once I start learning about one thing and then they'll mention something else, and then I'm like, what's that about? So then I start going down a rabbit hole with that one, trying to figure out what that's about. So that's why it's a little bit all over the place. But once I get to a certain point where I'm like, oh, okay, when I'm reading an article, I'm like, okay, now I know what they're talking about, who they're talking about. Then it's not going to be as scatterbrained as this. Hopefully.
Unlike just like my videos.
Hopefully. But a lot of you have led me down some good roads as far as what to look into. I know during one video somebody mentioned Israel, or maybe it was in the comments, but yeah, somebody was like, hey, you need to look into Israel. If you're looking into wars and all this stuff in the Middle East, it definitely, Israel might be something you want to learn about. Yeah, that's it. But if anybody has any other
Bits of info.
yeah, information, stuff I should be looking into, or any other helpful ideas for this, I'm all ears.
Could you ask me a question?
What?
We're trying to get
Why is this so
names
bright?
of people that directly profited from these insurgencies and these regime changes. I'd like to try to get names. Is there a way to get that? Names of people?
Names of people?
Names of people that are directly responsible, that are the main people that are profiting from this these actions, from these orders, from these decisions.
Well, that's what Snork said. Usually the money stream is pretty hidden.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
That would be awesome though.
But first things first is just to study the events, you know.
I'll try. I'll try.
And you'll be able to look at that too, and you'll be able to see. I mean, because I'm sure if you took a map and you plotted on a map where all the oil is and the oil rigs and who owns what, which companies own what and where, and then you did an overlay of all of our military bases, I have a feeling they'd line up more or less. What was it? Oh, yeah. Oh, her research on Sanders was intense. It was intense. But we needed to learn it. We needed to hear all that. That information needed to be out there. Because this is my passion project I'm working on. This is what I'm choosing to focus my time and energy on. Jimmy is focusing his on the elections and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm taking a
Who that one guy is.
I'm taking a detour, a hard detour onto this stuff, away from the elections and all the shenanigans. Because honestly, I these are the reasons why people like that are elected. These are the reasons why we couldn't have a Bernie Sanders. I mean, with the CIA, Department of Homeland Security, these are all the powerful behind the scenes people that aren't elected, that aren't getting the footage that Trump gets. Trump is an actor playing a role, just like Ronald Reagan. You know, he's the distraction. He's the big, dumb buffoon that we're all watching parade around and embarrass us, while the powerful, rich people are just kicking back and saying, yeah, look at him taking all the heat for us. You know? Nuts. In YouTube search, you'll see various videos that people saved. Oh, that's a fantastic idea. Yeah, I need to save those. I used to have a lot of her videos saved. I used to save them because I knew that someday that either YouTube, I thought YouTube would do her in. I thought YouTube would take her down. But I don't have any of those videos anymore. My that computer crashed a while. I think I accidentally disconnected and reconnected. One is multiple factions. One is they're mega wealthy. Mm-hmm. What else is there? I don't know what's going on. My camera keeps getting bright and then focusing it. I don't know. I'm trying to use my phone. But.
It's your fingers.
Well, I'm trying to get it to. Now it's just super bright. I don't know what to do with it. I don't.
It's your fingers. It's the sensor is trying to find.
Isn't it? I don't know. But anyway, that's all the information that I have so far. You see, I've been a little busy between this and work and kids, Jimmy.
Not a lot of work. What are you talking about?
No, I didn't say you were work.
I have a ton of it.
All right.
A project in itself.
But I'm really glad y'all guys stopped in and watched and gave me some good ideas.
Next week, tell everybody.
And I'm definitely going to be looking into. Would you stop interrupting me? Jesus. Now I don't remember what I was going to say.
You're going to get into.
I don't know. Okay. Oh, that's what it was. Jonathan Melton. I'm going to look into the conversation that Trump had with Netanyahu. Because, man, that's going to be bad. That's going to be bad.
Open forum next Saturday.
Okay, and Jimmy is going to have an open forum next Saturday on his channel, Mana Talk.
Everybody's invited.
And everybody's invited. So, hopefully we'll see you there. And I might get back to you before then with another video with more specific information. Hopefully. All right, bye y'all.